What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to the strip. Welcome to the shop. Welcome to the app. Coffee Talk app. So, let's just get into it today. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I do. I like to shout out my people, my good people that's with me, support. You know, they watch, they view, they subscribed, they got all bell notifications going, and they also have good content. So I'd like to give a shout out to Coolin' and the Crew. Shout out to T3 the Polar Bear. Shout out to Dominic LeBlue. Shout out to Rob Black as Fuck. Shout out to Mayor Sasua, homie. You already know what it is. Man, look, it be so many. I'll be sorry if I forget you. Shout out to JC family. I can't never leave them out. Shout out to Mighty Whitey. Shout out to Nitro Freak. Shout out to Supine. Shout out to Kalad. Shout out to Empress Now over there at the Valkyries. Today I'm drinking some Jamaican soft drink, you know, pineapple. But so today I wanted to just talk to y'all about some regular stuff. Oh. And let me address, I gotta address somebody in the comment section. So let me get this straight. So somebody in the comment section asked me a question that had to do with my last video. First of all, the person asked me, was I trying to come up off of MHB name? So first of all, since I know you're watching, or you watch, or hopefully this will be a note to somebody else who might feel like doing this. MHB's name don't hold no weight. See, only y'all goofies is caught up in that clout chase this, or if you use this person's name. Man, that nigga name don't hold no weight. And if you watch my channel, you see my videos, you see down there, I talk about whoever, whenever, or whatever I want to talk about, depending on how I feel and how I feel expressing it. Now, MHB had a specific topic that was on the table, and it needed to be discussed. So, yeah, I jumped on his fucking neck with it. So what? The person who asked me about it, you was a nobody on these YouTube streets. You don't have but one subscriber, and you don't have a face. Fuck out of here. Stay up out my comment section then if you didn't like it. Nigga ain't trying to come up off his name. Look down there, nigga. I built this shit from the ground up, nigga. No lives, no none of that. I'm just working my way up. I already know what's at the end of my road, because YouTube ain't my final agenda. So I know what's at the end of my road because I've recognized YouTube for what it is. But that just got me ready to just talk about today's topic. Because speaking on YouTube, I've seen a lot of people bring these specific topics up, and I just want to know your opinion. Now, y'all good people. Now, look. First, let me give it's not a disclaimer because y'all know I don't per se. Let me choose these words wisely. I don't intend to offend nobody. I don't intend on making nobody uncomfortable with this particular conversation. But information, knowledge, and research comes into play. And no matter what a person may say, once the evidence is mounted, for you to continue to believe or continue to support whatever it is that has already been broken down, that just lends to your ignorance. So let me jump into this because I always wanted to know this. So you got a group of people, and I'm just going to say monotheists, period, because all of you believe in the one, regardless of what your, what you call those? Excuse me. Regardless of what your denomination is, you all subscribe to a singular Godhead figure. Right? So, when you say you're praying, you say God has answered your prayers, and you heard from him, he talking to you, and this and this and that, then answer me, why is it necessary, if you achieve these things at home, if you achieve these things on your own, then could you explain to me why it's necessary for you to go into a building to allow someone else to tell you that what they're saying is prophetic or these great profound messages from God, when that same person will tell you that each and every last one of you have a relationship, a personal relationship with whatever it is that y'all dealing with? Listen to what I'm saying. The question comes up, is what I'm asking is, who determines what is prophetically a message from whatever you would consider to be your God? Because if we look at it correctly, the people who were prophets or the writers of these stories and these little nursery rhymes, these were dreams they had. These were situations where they say it came to them in a vision or in an audible. You know what I'm saying? So, in my lifetime, as well as plenty of yours, you've had visions or daydreams or phrases that come to your head that just resonate. It just made sense. So I'm asking you, if you say like a poet, let's use Maya Angelou as an example. She's relatable. A lot of you know who she is, and you'll be able to really understand what I'm saying, enter and overstand as well. But what I'm saying is, say like Maya Angelou, as powerful as a lot of her poems are, as much as they resonate to a lot of people and dig deep when spoke, could some of those poems and words be biblical? If I had a publication company and chose to put that in there and say, this is a book of the book of Angelou, has been added to the King James Holy Bible. Because when you think about it, that is what happened. So what I'm saying is, there is no specific person. You're paying tithing to a person who says they're receiving messages from the divine entity, but they can only receive the messages. And here lies the contradiction, because if you're the only one receiving the messages, then the church down the street, is that pastor lying? What about the church down the street that way? Is that pastor lying? What about that father over here, or that elder down there in the Kingdom Hall? Is he lying? Or perhaps is the archbishop over there in that Catholic church, is he lying? What about the rabbi down the street in that synagogue? Is he lying? Because all of them on these days say that they received a message the day before. And they took notes, and God was talking to them, and he told me to come, and, here's the thing. Now, y'all know I always say this, regardless of what I know to be true from research, because I've been doing this for over 30 years. You have to lend certain types of dialogue to the public, because their ability or non-ability to receive it correctly and comfortably, and especially on this topic. Am I saying that you shouldn't believe in God? No. But first, over and enter and understand that belief is just an admission that you don't know something. But should you believe in God, or should you not? That's on you. You see, because ultimately, primarily, is whatever you give that particular strength is what's lending that aid or non-aid to you. It could be debilitating, or it could be uplifting. That depends on the individual and the circumstances that individual is going through and things of that sort of nature. So we see visions and we get words from experiences as well. You see, I like to tell y'all I'm an open book. So in my youth, my young days, when I was running the street, getting fucked up, you know what I'm talking about? Self-medicating to the degree. You hear me? There's been times where in my mind, I'm being talked to. You hear what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm being talked to. Don't do this. Stop doing this. This is going to hurt you. This is, And as I began to study and come up and go through different doctrines and different books, and you realize that you're the individual driving this particular vehicle. The person that was in there was me talking to me. Because it's the same thing you hear when you close your eyes and don't move your lips and say your name or say whatever, and you can hear it and see it, but your eyes are closed and your mouth is closed. You spoke it, you heard it, but you didn't speak audibly, but your ears heard that. So that's you inside this vehicle. You ultimately talk to yourself and don't understand that it's you talking to the vehicle you're driving, the same way you give your car commands. You see, in a time where people governed what other people said and was able to say that, yeah, this is prophetic, or this is prophecy, or these words are from God. Those were men having visions. I used to often wonder, why was it only men having these visions or these conversations with what they would call to be God? The same God that said, let us create man in our image. Which in that particular sentence would state, plural, us and our. Which would be, if I was a studier of that book, a clear indicator that the being talking is talking about him being of more than of himself, but himself being the protagonist in that creation. I'm just speaking on literally what it says. So I say all of that to say, when you think about it, who determines what is a word of God? If you say he is governing your life, then he always talking to you and you always hearing him. So why would you listen to a pastor give you a message, middleman, what you already think that you be doing on your own? If you feel connected to that divine entity and that force, where do the middleman come in at? Or the interpreters to tell you that this mean that and this mean that, when you walk in your own specific path. You're receiving your own messages upon information that you've taken in. Quit letting people fool you with this bullshit they be saying. If you're on YouTube and somebody says something, let me give you an example. The example is the main reason why I shout out the channels and the people names that I shout out when I start the video. If you ever followed my instructions and went and crossed over and looked at some of the people who I mentioned, you'll see that all of those people are way bigger than me. Their numbers are bigger. They get more people and I don't go live yet, but they get a lot of people in their lives, and etc., etc. So one would say, well, why do you shout them out? You trying to clout chase and use their name? No. The thing is, when you become an adult and you start to move in a proper manner, you start to recognize things and you have to externalize it. So I say the names and I give my shout outs because these are the channels. Mr. Skinny TV, Miss 504, Toothless Tiger, Coolin' in the Crew, T3 Polar Bear, Dominique LeBlue, JC Family, Mini Badass. Those people, the people that I name, are the people who are giving me inspiration in certain directions and certain areas of what I'm doing here on YouTube. So as a creator, I could say that some of what they say have been prophetic, because it helped aid me into being better. But are they God? Are they gods, plural? Now you would say no. But I didn't hear what you would call God tell me to don't do this, or do this because it'll help you, or go this direction. So be very careful who you let tell you what are words from God or prophetic words. Be very careful with that. My advice to you is just find positive, inspirational, productive information to aid you in your travels. Anything outside of that, it's more than likely you following somebody's fairy tales. But I'm going to be right back because I don't want to drag this out. I just wanted you to think about that. Who is determining that? Who determines, was this a word of God? Was this a message of God? Just because it happened to ring your bell or you felt a movement in it. The trick is to bring up general conversations dealing with the demographic of people in the first place. So of course the pastor was talking this Sunday about all the kids being killed. That's what's going on. And if it's affecting you, of course you're going to feel what he's saying. But what about the person who didn't lose nobody last week? Or, who didn't lose nobody last week or last year. So this particular message didn't really move that person. So was it not a word from God for them? That's all I'm saying, y'all. Pay attention. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Support.